All right, this is 8th grade, Module 7, Lesson 11 on decimal expansion of some irrational numbers. So kind of similar to what we've been doing this whole time as far as dealing with radicals and breaking down those square roots into squares that can multiply into them. So let's look at this one. If you were to place the square root of 28 on a number line, can you guess where it would be? Okay, so you can look at its decimal expansion and explain your reasoning that way. So what I'd like you to do is this one, I'm just looking to see what your guess is because it does say make a guess. All right, so if you're wrong, it's okay. I want you to make a number line and place square root 28 on that number line. You can go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Let's look at example 1. So we're going to consider the square root of 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is I know for sure I'm going to need my calculator for this lesson. So I'm going to pull my calculator up here. All right. The first thing I want to do is I want to take the square root of 3. So I'm going to do 3 square root. And I get this crazy long decimal. And that's okay because 3 is not a perfect square. So of course I would get a decimal. So I'm going to say that the square root of 3 is going to equal 1.732 ... Okay, so where would the square root of 3 actually fall? So we have 1.7. If you look down here, do you see a 1.7? So we're going to go ahead and put our dot there. This means that the square root of 3 falls between 1 and 2 on a number line. So on a number line, if you had just a number line of, 1, 2, 3, just your basic number line, it would fall right in there. The square root of 3 would be in there, okay? Where would it be? It would be at the 1.7. Now let's see if we can break it down even farther, which means can we get to a better exact location rather than just, 1.7, there we go. Well, if you remember, we had 1.732. So now since I put 1.7 last time, it's right up here. Since I had 1.7 last time, that's actually where I'm going to begin. And I'm going to add in a second digit. So I'm going to add in the hundredths place. So we're going to do 1.70, 1.71, 1.72, 1.73, 1.74, and go ahead and label yours. Whoop, 5. And ending in 1.80. All right, so since we had 1.7, we already circled that factor up there. Let's add in that 3 and get it to a more precise location. Now, are we ever going to hit it exactly on the money? No, because if you notice, this decimal went on and on and on forever. So let me pull up that calculator just so you can remember. There's no way. I mean, that's a lot of number lines we have to make to get exact. So I think just getting to the hundredths place is pretty good. So we're going to go 1.73. And now our location is there. All right, let's go to example 2. So example 2 is that square root of 28. So this was the one that you were to guess on. And let's see how close you were to getting the correct answer here. So square root of 28, let's grab our calculators now. Clear this out. So I'm going to say 28 square root. All right, so I get this long decimal here. So I'm going to say it equals 5.291. Let's go to the thousandths place just to have 3 numbers at the decimal in case we want to break this down several times, okay? So I look here at my number line. I see I have a 5.2. There you go. So on a basic number line, if you were drawing yours for the opening exercise, you would have had 5, 6, 7 of a number line, and the square root of 28 would have been right about here. So look back at your opening exercise, see if you were close. If you weren't, that's fine. Leave it, don't erase it. It's okay. All right, let's go to breaking it down a little closer now. So I'm going to pull up our calculator just so we can always have that number in front of us. So last time we did 5.2. That means we're going to start here. Let me move my calculator below our problem so it doesn't get in the way. Now we're going to start with 5.2 because that was where we left off. That's where our first dot was. But now we're going to make it a 0. 5.21, 5.22, 5.23. And again, we're just trying to do this so we can get a more exact location. So go ahead and finish out your number line. And then this would end with 5.30. All right, so we had 5.29, so it's way down here. All right, now we want a fourth dimension to this. All right, so we're going to go to the fourth place, which is why I said let's go ahead and include that thousandths place. So now we're going to start with 5.29, but we're going to say 5.290. 5.291. You might want to start writing at an angle because then it starts to get kind of hard to, they start to blend together when we get too many numbers. And then this one will end with 5.30. All right, so our number here was 5.29. We got that. 5.291. So there is a more specific location. All right, now we're going to go to the back. This will be one that I grade because there's only one question left. Let me go ahead and get my calculator out of the way here. I want you to tell me where would square root of 14 fall, okay? So I first want you to tell me where it's between, and we did that kind of lesson a couple lessons ago where you had to tell me it was between two numbers. And then I would like for you to do two number lines here. So this one to the tenths place, and then this one to the hundredths place. All right, this will be one that I grade. So this concludes our video tutorial.